with the staking V2 and the way that's been reorganized. And I guess Major Hayes also had a part in that. And I've been working with them and taking a look at it. And it's really good the way we can move forward with that and extend it. So, yeah, appreciate all that.
Awesome. Thanks, Elmet. For those who don't know, Elmet was out for, you were gone for about a week and a half. Got on his honeymoon. He just got married. Congratulations. And came back and saw a bunch of some refactoring. Had a little bit of concern when he first got back. He's one of our most talented engineers, so his opinion means a lot. And after a few check-ins with Theobald and such, he realized, oh, that's actually really smart what they did. Thanks for the appreciation, Elmet.
Yeah, I'd give a big second to that. Guys did an awesome job cranking the new staking stuff out ahead of time, or more like in time, to give us plenty of testing time and a couple iterations if we need it before it goes live. Thank you, guys.
Sterling, you've been invited to speak again now that there's a button. There you go. Yep.
Sweet. Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Mick Chadwick. He's been helping me out with the chain adapter stuff, getting Bitcoin in there. And he added some tests, which kind of forced me to want to add some tests for some of the work I've been doing. And in doing so, it caused me to find 3 or 4 bugs that were wrong with my implementation. So yeah, I just wanted to give a thanks to Nick and shout out.
That's awesome. Thank you.
I want to appreciate Adam and T-Shifty and Lich for helping out on Friday with getting rune swaps working on Thorchain. Definitely a lot of things had to come together to get that working and shipped out. So appreciate you guys.
Yeah, throw that back at you, Mike. It was great pairing Friday there to make progress on that.
Yeah, I appreciated the galvanization around Thorchain, their protocol coming back online, and boy, it's been off for a couple months, so we had some rusty bolts and some stuff to get. And Mick Chadwick, Major Hayes, Mike P, Adam, multiple people involved in getting that going. And I also have an appreciation for DeFi Cafe up here. You've been doing a lot of stuff that is kind of behind the scenes-ish organization and just keeping people on track and removing blockers. And I think you've been doing an awesome job at that. Thank you.
Thanks, boss.
All right, let's jump into our updates, our kickoff. This is really a kickoff for the week, what we're planning to be working on for the coming week. And we're going to kick it off with DeFi.
Yeah, thank you. So the same standing items as always for anyone that's not from centralized ShapeShift. We have all these repos that are available for contributions and a link to the project board that we use for stand up every morning at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. In terms of bounties, we have been paying retroactive bounties out. 420 Coupe has been doing some PRs for us. So if you want to contribute, you are likely to be compensated for it. And if you want to take on something juicy, the MetaMask bounty is out there. We have someone that has taken that work, but nothing's been delivered there yet. So keep an eye out on Gitcoin. There's going to be more coming. On the lib side of things, we've had Toshi and Ryan have been working on that. The 0x swapper is now implemented, and we're likely to have that flow through the web shortly. I've done some work on chain adapters as the Bitcoin chain adapter is being worked on by Sterl. It's now generic, and that's flowing through the web too. It's a PRs up for that. The wallet strategy meetings continue, which is being led by Adam and Major Hayes to give us what will eventually become an SDK for the wallet. So those discussions are still ongoing. in terms of fox farming, the web version of that has been in the hands of product and ops. Thanks to those guys for testing and flushing out a few minor bugs. There's PRs coming in for that. And on the mobile side of things, there'll be an OTA going out today for the same product and ops testing, and surely some bugs will come back and be wrapped up there. That's pretty much it.
All right, let's take a look at the coins teamwork. So we had a couple of like bugs and maintenance tasks pop up late last week, so we're working on those. Mick Chadwick is fixing Thorchain swaps on KeepKey. I'm working on fixing an issue where some Thorchain XPubs are not finishing syncing due to getting 502 errors back from the Midgard API. So we'll at least get a workaround in for that today. And the Thorchain team is working on a more longer term fix. Our Ripple node count went down to 1 over the weekend. So I've been working this morning and Parker helped out. We know what the issue is, and so we're working on a fix to get back up to our normal node count. And Mills is fixing a couple issues with Ledger and Trezor pairing on web. So should get a lot of nice bug fixes in this week. On the KeepKey side, Mark has been working on the bridge project so that users on Windows can use their KeepKey with the platform. We've got a proof of concept of the bridge, and currently he and Highlander are getting Axiom pairing to work, right? So we have the bridge running with the server, and then we need to update the Axiom platform to reach out to that bridge and then sync the key there. And then for the Unchained project, I'll turn it over to Kevin.
Thanks, Mike. So at the end of last week, we started building out the Websocket Client. This will be the way that we connect through chain adapters and get a stream of historical transactions and updates for pending and confirmed transactions to the client. Alongside of this, Parker's been working on kind of managing the data consistency and integrity side of things with like a sequence number to ensure that we got all transactions that were expected. We'll continue building this out and working towards an MVP to actually show the data going all the way to the client. Ideally, there is a meeting at 3 today, tentatively, to work with the front end devs to look more into the actual local storage implementation that we want to move forward with and how these messages are going to be coming across and how we'll want to save them. Up next, pending any like other bug fixes that come up, we'll start work on the Thorchain coin stack. So this will be the first coin stack that is not a blockbook backend coin, which will be great for us understanding kind of our abstraction strategy and making sure everything works according to plan as far as adding these new, more distinct coin stacks into Unchained. So looking forward to starting that and seeing how that all comes together. And then also the idea of completing the Coin Edition guide, which Mike has started, and that will be used as kind of like a blueprint for adding UTXO clones using Blockbook, since there's already kind of a pattern established for those coins, and maybe offloading some of that onto the community for bounties. So yeah, stay tuned on how those come together and more official postings related to that. And that's all I got.
My turn.
It is.
Okay. SREs are supporting the Bitcoin integration and focusing primarily this month on resource tuning and cost optimization of the legacy proprietary cluster. Given that's going to be some fixed cost for the foreseeable future, we want that to be as small as possible. That's all I got.
Thank you very much. Security guy update. This week, primary focuses are on V2 wallet architecture stuff and on tweaking the itchy proposal so that it's actually secure, hopefully. Bunch of administrative stuff going on too. I hope to schedule our first office hours this week sometime. So y'all are all invited. And hit me up if you have thorny TypeScript questions, because that's my jam.
Thanks, Mr. Nerdhair. So moving on here, as James mentioned, we had several discussions on the wallet strategy and SDK last week that I'd call very productive. I think next steps there are to fully flesh out sort of the interfaces that are part of the SDK, and then start looking at breaking down the work to implement them. As Kevin mentioned, we have a discussion at 3 p.m. today around storage on the client side. Since we're building this in a decentralized fashion, the luxury, that we had in the past with having servers, centralized servers and databases to store things about the user account for the next time they return. So we have plans to do that client side, and we kind of want to get together there to make sure we're in sync in terms of what the backend's providing, both with REST API and the WebSocket stuff that's in progress, and the way that we're going to store that, all the way kind of at the other end of the line in the client. So that's going to be 3 p.m. today in one of our public channels here on Discord. And then we're going to have another sort of sync meeting where we're going to sort of take a step back and take a look at the V2 architecture as it's been put together and coded out so far, from the very front end to the very back end, and just kind of have an alignment discussion, make sure everything's on track and the pieces are fitting together in optimal way. One other thing I got is we have demos this Wednesday at 10 a.m. Mountain. Just to reiterate, that's intended to be for everyone. You don't have to be part of the core dev team or even a developer really to participate. So I will likely start a sign up thread in the engineering public chat channel shortly here, and love to have everyone sign up, and love to really have everyone show up to see these demos. I know there's some good stuff coming this week, and it's usually a great time. That's it for me.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam. All right. So we've got, as DeFi mentioned, we've got the contract V2 work ending, right? Everything's getting dev done and going into cleanup and bug fixes. So this is the time when we start looking at the next piece of work, and that has been determined to be Yearn in V2 and also with MetaMask support. So we've got the bounty for MetaMask and HD Wallet. So the core dev team is not just planning. Hopefully the hope is that we just are reviewing that and making some suggestions, and we're able to bring it in, and we're not doing the work. But we are planning to do the Yearn work. And so looking at how we're going to break that down as far as the team goes, who's going to work on it? That's the actual question that we need to answer. So I'll be having some discussions to help us figure that out. And then looking at just the high level planning of it. Then cost savings work. This is something that Conscience mentioned with the SRE teams. So I think we've been making good progress over that the last couple of weeks. I think there's still some gain to make. So looking forward to that. I'm supporting the success token still. We had the original proposal discussion through, and I helped put together some sheets for Dutch to be able to chat with some people. So I'm going to continue to do what I can for that. There's a couple other things that are not listed here. One is that the September engineering workstream report is out, and that I posted in the general channel this morning. And then also for anyone who's new that's coming in and wondering from the engineering side how to get involved, I posted a message and then pinned it in the engineering public chat. And it's got a list of things like when are demos, when are office hours, which repos to look at, and where can you go see open bounties. Those kind of questions are answered in that pinned chat. So if you know anyone who's comes in and saying, hey, I'm an engineer and I've got blah, blah, blah skills, how can I get started? You can always point them my way, and then you can always point them to engineering public chat to the pinned message there. All right, as we continue to march towards self-sovereignty for all of us on the engineering side, our last day as full-time employees with ShapeShift Inc. is the last day of this month. It's coming up close. So as any of you who are continuing in the engineering workstream, if you need help with Opolis and all the stuff that moves to move you towards self-sovereign employment, reach out to me. I'm far along in that process and happy to help and answer any questions where I can. Cool. I'm passing it on to Bethany. Diggy.
Thanks, Josh. Hi, everybody. So for UX and design this week, just some stuff that's pretty much the same as last week with the mobile app staking that's in development. We did some concepting for the IABC bridge, and we are going to be running some usability testing on that. I'm actually going to be posting a form, probably an announcement for anybody in the community who's interested in usability testing or helping get feedback on design. There will be a link there with a form so you can express your interest. That would be awesome if we can get some feedback from people in the community. Working on LP, providing liquidity for Osmosis this week for both mobile app and web. Fox Farming 2.0, everybody knows, is already in development. Gem integration for mobile. Beard's going to be working on design for that. And then we've got a bunch of stuff that we're doing for .com. We've got a new careers page. We're working on the KeepKey website updates. We're going to update the buy crypto page that we have on .com. It's going to be a buy sell crypto. And then we also are working on designs for the homepage for the post airdrop. Just kind of getting all of that stuff queued up and ready to go. And yeah, and then that's it, besides the new web app for open source that Beard is actively working on. That's it for me. Thanks, Faith. I will pass it to whoever's going to be speaking for products.
Thanks, Diggy. So we have our priorities this week. We have our second round of Fox Farming and mobile will be dev done this week, so we'll be doing a mobile store release for that, and then we'll be testing that as well. We're doing a couple of updates for the Fox Farming v2 on web, and also we'll be working on Yearn. And then under assignments, you can see who's working on which pieces. And then we also have a couple people out of office later this week. Fox McCloud will be out all week. Diggy will be out Thursday afternoon and Friday. Matt will be out Thursday morning and Friday afternoon. And then actually one that's missing on here is Beard will be out Thursday and Friday as well. So if you have questions for those people or need something from them, please let them know before those times. Or if you need anything from Fox McCloud, you can talk to me. I'm also going to pass it to Matt for a few.
One thing for engineering leadership, and do with what you want with this. I've been noticing just participating in the stand-ups both mornings. They're starting to get repetitive where we're just repeating the same stuff in each stand-up. Knowing that we're getting closer to the second wave and everything's going to be DAO-like, you guys might want to start considering just having one stand-up. It doesn't seem like there's anything we're talking about in the legacy stand-up that can't be talked about now in the open one. And knowing that we have a bunch of meetings, including DAO community calls, might be a good way to get 15 or 30 minutes back, since we're doing the same thing twice in a row every morning. So something for engineering leadership as you guys keep talking as the week goes on. In terms of the product people that attend them, we're fine going down to one stand-up. We don't really need both of them anymore on our end.
Thanks, Matt. Well, we will talk about that. Appreciate the feedback. So any other feedback or questions or general comments or news from anybody?
Hey all.
Hey.
Just a quick note that for engineering and ops specifically, I'm seeing some talk on Twitter that ETH might actually be enabled on Thorchain as soon as over the next 48 hours. So that's just something we should pay attention to and be ready to turn back on and test, maybe as soon as mid this week.
Oh, it'd be so awesome.
John, is it ETH and ERC20s or just ETH?
That's a good I'm assuming just ETH, but I don't actually know the answer to that. I'm just I didn't expect it this soon. I thought it would be at least a week, but I literally just saw a post in the last few hours saying it's going to be more like next day or two for ETH. My assumption is just ETH, but that's something we should find out.
Cool. Exciting. Thank you.
At the protocol level and like the ability to halt them, I think it's at chain level. Doesn't really change anything, and I don't know that it's including tokens. I guess you can mark pools unavailable.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible it's both. I know that all their issues were with ERC20s and not ETH specifically, so my assumption is they're going to be most careful with that. But we should just pay attention and be ready for that, because obviously when it does turn back on, we'll want to turn that on as soon as we can, because that's the thing, in my opinion, that makes Thorchain most useful, when you can go Bitcoin to ETH and back.
Should just be a database update. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, to turn ETH on.
Just have to do some good testing because it wasn't quite that simple for these ones.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
I got a quick
Yes.
comment that I think could just be useful context for the community and for everyone who isn't yet familiar with this. So you mentioned earlier that the next milestone after the V2 staking contract is Yearn as well as MetaMask in the new open source version. I'm really excited about that, and I think just to give some of the community some of the context around how we came to that decision was really the focus on MLP, minimum lovable product, and the big question we have and that we've had about how to prioritize features between this new open source version, but also making sure that we keep current users on the current mobile and web app still enticed with good functionality, so that we can maintain all these users that we've acquired over the years. So we landed on Yearn and MetaMask because we thought that if we could give users in this new open source version the ability to earn yield on their crypto, which is a feature that they currently don't have in the current ShapeShift apps, as well as this MetaMask integration, that could potentially be an MLP, a lovable product that we're happy to point existing users to from the existing apps. Even if we don't have the Yearn functionality in beta.shapeshift.com or in the mobile app, we could at least point users from beta.shapeshift.com in the mobile app to this new open source version, where they could use Yearn with all the wallets that are supported in the current ShapeShift app. And also, so it'd be a new feature that they don't have access to, and it will start generating revenues for the DAO. So we thought that this could potentially be the first kind of MLP milestone where we could actually open up this new open source version to users and start pointing people over there. But we're not necessarily committed to that. We kind of have the ability where we can aim for that milestone, get to that point, open it up internally to the community and to workstream members to start testing it. And then we can make the decision around whether we think it's ready to start pointing users there, or if there's still some kind of core functionality that we want to make sure to prioritize. That's all.
Cool. Appreciate the adding the context, Willie. Anybody with anything else before we break? Great. Well, thanks everybody for joining, for the interest, and hope everybody has a good day and a great week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
everyone.